A man convicted of killing 3 people when he was a teenager says he was rotten from the beginning and is skipping a chance to possibly get a new sentence from a judge in Pontiac. Michael Kvam is now 52, but he was 17 when he raped and killed 27-year-old Joan Bray, her 15-year-old niece Wendy Lovell, and Bray's 9-year-old daughter Chastity back in 1984. Dying, and here's what I deserve, Kvam said Friday. Joan's husband, Orban, vividly remembers the day 35 years ago. I walked in at 4 in the morning and found my 9-year-old baby girl stabbed 27 times, my wife 15 times. He cut up my niece so bad I couldn't pick her up and take her to the hospital because I was afraid she was going to fall apart, Orban said. Orban doesn't want to be in court Friday. Nobody did. But the Supreme Court ruled a few years ago that anyone sentenced as a juvenile to life in prison was entitled to have their sentences revisited. Since Kvam was 17 when it happened, he had a chance at it. And Orban and his other daughter, Anne, were pulled back into court. The horror that they inflicted never goes away, Orban said. Today, Anne is 46, but she was celebrating her 11th birthday in July 1984. She was at her grandparents' house, where whom sister, mom, and cousins were murdered and taken from her. I don't even remember crying at the funeral. I just remember seeing 3 caskets. That's all that ever comes up in my head. I can't never forgive that, Ann said. The Braves were in court in Pontiac with the hopes that Kvam would not be released from prison 35 years later. They got their wish as Kvam asked to stay behind bars and apologize for taking so much from the family. I am not asking for forgiveness, he said. I don't deserve it or want it. In fact, me spending the rest of my life in here is way better than what I deserve. And to the rest of you, I would like to say that monsters do exist, Kvam said. Both sides agreed that he's a monster, and both sides had harsh words for the Supreme Court for allowing these juvenile life of proceedings to even happen. This ruling is wrong. This is wrong to put the families through this all again. It's very wrong, Orban said. I like to add that this whole premise of this juvenile life reform nonsense is pure bullshit, Kvam said. I'm a killer, plain and simple, as are probably 95% of juvenile lifers. I deserve to die in here. There's no question. That's the fair thing. That's just let's go over with. Kvam did not have to undergo mental evaluation where it was determined. Excuse me, Kvam did have to go under mental health evaluation to determine that he was competent to make a decision. At the end of the proceeding, a judge granted his wish. He'll head back to prison for the rest of his life. Even if he didn't waive the opportunity, it's still possible that he might have received the same sentence. Let me speak on this real quick before we bounce out. At first, these crimes are horrible, and to be 17 and do something like that, that's crazy. You really don't deserve a second chance, to be, in my opinion. But when they say, Brady, Alabama, Miller, all these cases, you got to revisit them. You got to look at them and understand their mental competency at the time. And I get that. I think he thought he was being like self-righteous or something. Maybe he just might be that institutionalized, but he's an idiot. Like, who would turn down a chance to right the wrongs and, maybe save some other people from going down that route because you can identify, you understand. But he chose to stay in prison. Hey, that's what he deserved, man. But I don't feel like he's just too smart. I think you're just trying to do some like super smart, self-righteous stuff. I'm a monster, like, bro. And I was locked up with him. He's soft, drug addict, man. Like, bomb to stay in his room all day off heavy medication, man. Tell me what y'all think about this. Peace and blessings be playing y'all Big Five.
You not a hustler, you keep getting in front of you just can't flip it. You ain't really got it, you P. Diddy, you be remixing. Oh, where he just got a new Glock, that's a free biscuit. Petty Tupac know what's up, he know on the mill tick.